Within the hour, some judges ruled that the governor's order, which does restrict houses of worship from having more than 10 people in them, the judges ruled that that order stands. And the governor also saying that any protests against his order are justified. People can feel upset about it. He said violence, however, is not permitted, and he said that some of the worst violence that we've seen in this so-called red zone was organized from the very top, from the White House. This was the scene Wednesday night in Borough Park when a group of men in the so-called red zone of coronavirus restrictions beat up a journalist covering their protest against closures ordered by Governor Andrew Cuomo. Today, the governor, in a teleconference, made this claim that the Trump campaign is the source of the violence.
His campaign is fomenting the ultra-Orthodox in Brooklyn.
Specifically, the governor said this robocall was made to residents in the community before people took to the streets.
We just hung up the phone with a group of us going in that are in touch with the Trump campaign. Come to 13th Avenue and hold big signs. Cuomo killed thousands, as many as possible, as big as possible. The Trump campaign is urging us to hold as many and as big signs as possible. Please send this message around, make it go viral.
The most prominent journalist attacked, Jacob Kornblue, has spoken with Pix 11 News.
Over 100 people were trying to gang on me, kicking me, pinching me, some threw objects on the back of my head, trying to assault me.
He specifically said that radio host and city council candidate Heshi Tischler led the attack against him. The governor also singled out Tischler's attack today.
Prosecute criminal behavior. NYPD. Arrest people who are in the midst of criminal behavior.
And this afternoon, Tischler made this statement.
The DA is going to be arresting me on Monday morning to the 6-6 precinct. I will be turning myself in. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking maybe let them come get me.
He did not say whether or not President Trump's campaign was behind the confrontation, even though the crowd was flying Trump campaign flags. But the governor kept driving the point home.
New Yorkers should be outraged. Yeah, the Trump campaign is fostering it. I'm not surprised. New Yorkers are repeating it. I am surprised. All good, decent New Yorkers should be outraged.
I had to beat off the phony Mueller report. I had to beat off all this stuff. I had to beat off impeachment. I had to beat off Congress, everything else. They then send it to New York, which is all political. They send it into New York, the same stuff into New York. You have to beat that off.
Meanwhile, today, leaders of a group of more than 400 rabbis condemned any violence that has occurred in relation to this coronavirus crackdown. They also said that any outside political entity that has tried to encourage violence here has to be condemned.